You're listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. AEW Grand Slam. Like the New York Yankees winning that game the other night. Took place last night in New York City. Perfect. And we had ourselves a good show as always. A lot to get into, a lot to talk about, a lot of news coming out of that show. Let us not waste any more time. Check out my socials. Follow me, RJD underscore 199 on Instagram, RJ699 on Twitter, RJD199 on Snapchat, and most importantly, follow What the Wrestling on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. Follow What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. Let's go! Yes. Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. And we had a lot of it last night. I cannot be mad at what I saw last night from Grand Slam. The only thing that would have made it better was being in the house live. But it's all right, because we will be at the Prudential Center for Full Gear. Mark my words, goddammit. We will be in the house, goddammit. We will be there. Damn it. Anyway, back to the show. So, last night, AEW Dynamite Grand Slam 2022. We had five matches last night. Good, actually, great show. 5 matches. A lot to get into. I must say, we got new world. In fact, I'll get to it. I'm gonna go down the line in order, and when I get to it, I'll get to it. So, let us not waste any more time. First things first, we had. Oh, now I need some water. See this? I got water in here. All right, I got water in here. This is what happens. I feel like I'm screaming. I need some water, goddammit. All right, we good. Now that I got that handled, let us get it. Real Honor World Championship, Claudio Cassidy. Why do I keep messing this up? I mess this up every time. Claudio Castagnoli. Why can't I say that 5 times fast? Claudio Castagnoli. I did it. Versus Chris Jericho. This was a good match, good hard-fought match. They gave each other a handshake in the beginning, but Jericho, being Jericho, slapped Claudio, and away we went with a major uppercut, European uppercut from the beginning. The end came where Claudio was going for a power bomb. Jericho flipped him over instead, almost ran into Aubrey, the referee. Aubrey was blinded as soon as Claudio turned around. He got kicked in the balls. Ouch. Jericho then hit the Judas effect, and that was all she wrote. We have a new Ring of Honor World Champion, and his name is the Sports Entertainer, Chris Jericho. Afterwards, everybody from the Jericho Appreciation Society came out to celebrate, and Danny Garcia came out as well, and he did not look too pleased. I'm gonna have to move this sun out of my way. There we go. And he did not look too pleased with the nonsense, and I like this, and here's the reason why. You see, Jericho's whole thing is he keeps cheating. Daniel Garcia keeps telling him, you don't have to cheat, my guy. Just do the right thing and fight fairly and everything will be okay. And Jericho is basically like, stupid. We're not doing that. Get the fuck out of here. So I think there will be a time where those two collide. You're telling that story along with the Bryan Danielson. You can add that into it along with now he is the pure champion. So I was highly surprised at the fact that Claudio lost. But if Tony Khan is looking for a TV deal, which he may or may not have in the works, we don't know. But if he's looking for a TV deal and you have Jericho as your champion, Jericho can raise and elevate the title like he did when AEW first started. And Lord help everybody if he gets a streaming deal or a TV deal and he has the Ring of Honor title. And if Claudio chases, Claudio will be that much more of a star after beating Jericho like Hangman was or like Moxley was. So I like it. I think it's dope. I think they're going back to the well, trying to see what they could do for the Ring of Honor title. I think Tony Khan does have something in the works, and he's trying to line up the right things. I do wish that they would have TV or something off of AEW, because a lot of this Ring of Honor stuff is happening on AEW TV when it could be happening on the Ring of Honor TV. But they don't have a TV deal yet. Hopefully they get one soon. I like this move. Surprised by it? Yes. Do I like it? Yes. So let's see what happens. Thumbs up for me. Very good match. Next, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, The Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory. Now, first things first. As far as The Acclaimed at All Out, should they won? Should they not have won? I'm going to say yes. I believe they should have won.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Watching this match and looking back on it in hindsight, what you had at All Out was lightning in the bottle. It was something that cannot be duplicated. No matter how hard you tried, no matter how hot the crowd, you couldn't duplicate that magic that you got duplicated in Chicago. So I think if obviously they weren't scheduled to win or they weren't going to win, I think an audible could have been called. Not like it has to been done before. I think an audible could have been called. They could have had the rematch here, and then Swerve, who is going to be a fantastic heel, Swerve could have came in after the loss, and you could have turned Swerve next week, which is probably what they're going to do anyway, because in this match he whacked Keith Lee over the head like whack-a-mole with the goddamn boombox. Stupid.
You stupid.
So I think you could have still had the same result, but you cannot deny that Chicago crowd wanted Acclaimed. They didn't want anybody else but the Acclaimed. That Chicago crowd showed me something, and I truly believe that if they would have called an audible, it would have been all good. It would have been all good. Everything would have fell into place, and you still would have ended up at the same place you're going to end up next week, which is hopefully Swerve turning on Keith Lee, and then they start their program, which is going to be phenomenal. So with that, I would say I got to hit the button on them for that. But as far as this match goes, basically they had a big man, little man match with Keith Lee and the Acclaim. He came out cutting a rap, saying that he looked like a 20-ounce and a 2-liter soda. That's what Swerve looks like. Said he's gonna run him out of town like Cuomo. He said He said it looks like Keith Swerve in our glory hole. So for those of you who watch this, you know exactly what he meant. Oh man, shout out to Max Caster. That dude is shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
But moving on, this was a very good match. You had Swerve and Our Glory basically controlling it. The end came when Swerve got distracted because after he had whacked Keith Lee over the head, they did regain control. Keith Lee tagged himself out, but Swerve got distracted and was doing, suck it to daddy ass. But when the referee got distracted, daddy ass hit him with the goddamn famouser. He kicked him, hit him with the famouser, threw him back in. You had Bowens hit his finisher, and then you had the mic drop by Max Caster, and you had new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Yes, it was great. Yes, I loved it. Yes, the pop was immaculate. And yes, this was well-deserved. Homegrown talent, baby. You gotta love homegrown talent. So what I would say is, these guys are money. They are going to be on point. I hope they have a nice long title reign. They are over like October. It's not even close. They probably had match of the night at All Out, some would say, especially with the way that crowd reacted to them. And they had one of the loudest pops of the night here in New York. The Acclaimed are really good. They went through this period where they were trying to get over. It took years. We'll be in year 3 or 4 of AEW. And finally, they're getting over. Just like FTR. FTR has been like, they've been bad guys since NXT. Next thing you know, they come in and they got over organically, just like the Acclaim did. They did tease a matchup, but it looks like the Ass Boys are going to be next up for FTR. So as far as the Acclaimed, hopefully they have something to do with them, but the Acclaimed are awesome. They're over like October, and I love the fact that homegrown talent is being forced upon us and being built up to take their rightful place at the top of the mountain. Shout out to this match. It was awesome. So that was the end of that. Next, we had the All-Atlantic Championship match, The Bastard. Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Nothing much to see here. The end came where Cassidy, who was basically playing mind games with Pac the whole goddamn fight, he finally is getting the better of him. Pac goes to the outside. He grabs the ring bell hammer, and Orange Cassidy comes to chase him. He blinds himself by their bodies, and he straight hit them. He straight hits him with the goddamn hammer, and Orange Cassidy is out.
Stop it. Get some help.
Dare you?
Disrespectful, that bastard. So Pac gets the win here. Not a problem. I would run this back when it's time for Pac to lose the title, maybe in a couple of months, 3, 4 months, 5 months, have Orange Cassidy be the next in line for that belt. That's what I would do. That's just me. So next we had an MJF promo, and MJF is a savage. Let's clap it up for MJF one more time.
Emotional damage!
That's what MJF gave Wheeler Yuta, but let's clap it up for MJF one time. Go clap it up. So Wheeler Yuta comes out and he's like, listen, we got to give it to Blackpool Combat Club versus Blackpool Combat Club. What do you think? What you think is going to happen? And he said, well, the thing is, and MJF music hits, and MJF comes out, and everybody's like, we love you, MJF. Listen, every city they go to, MJF is going to get cheered. He got cheered in Chicago. Now, he was coming back, so maybe it was just absences that makes the heart go fonder kind of thing. But the brother got cheered in Chicago.
Stupid.
If he's saying, I don't want to be a goddamn babyface, brother, the crowd has something to say about that. Everywhere they go, it's going to be up to MJF to get the crowd to turn on him every city they go to. Because every city they go to, it's like, you shitted on us. Yes. Yes. It's like, I remember an interview The Rock did. Story time. Stop the show. I remember The Rock did this was years ago when I was a kid. Maybe I was like 15, 16. He did an interview and The Rock was like, well, it was a documentary or something. So maybe not 16. It was the 2010s, 11s when he had first went into Hollywood. And The Rock was like, somebody was talking about The Rock. And when he was ascending, you know, at the same time Stone Cold was ascending, they were ascending at the same time. The guy said, yes, The Rock would shit on these people every single night. In every city we went to, The Rock would shit on them and they would be like, yes, we want more, we love you. It's the same thing with MJF. No matter how bad he shits on the people, he's like, the devil has returned. And being that you all are worship the ground I walk on, you are my own little devil worshipers. And he was like, Wheeler Yuta finally he finally has the charisma of like a pickle or some shit. And then he's like it doesn't matter who wins from the Blackpool Cuckold Club. I was like, wait, what?
Get the fuck out of here!
The Blackpool Cuckold Club. At this point, I was like,
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
you got it, brother. You got it. That was the line of the night. He's like, I don't care about either of your buddies from the Blackpool Cuckold Club. I was like, dang. MJF chose violence, as he often does every single goddamn week. But he got the best of Wheeler Yuta here. But to be fair, almost everybody is going to look lower in promo if you go on promo to promo with MJF. Almost everybody. Unless you're like Punk or Mox or even Danielson, because he can cut a good promo. But a lot of guys can't hang with MJF. And he said, yo, I heard you recently got engaged. MJF made it look like, yo, why you said something about that? He was just like, oh, word? That's what we doing?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And he was like, but maybe she knows what we all know is that you're an asshole. What do you call him? He said that she's going to leave you. And then said that she's going to leave you one day like you left us. I was like, okay. Okay, Wheeler. He's like, come on, Wheels. And you know what MJF does too? He gives everybody a nickname. Like when he was in Tough Enough, he was like, come on, Trips. Can I call you Trips? Like, he gives everybody like a freaking nickname. Like PG Punk and all this extra shit. So shout out to MJF for thinking on the fly. But Wheeler Yuta had a good line in there, but MJF kind of beat him out with the Blackpool Cuckold Club. It was kind of, I wonder how long he been saving that one up.
Stop it. Get some help.
Come on, man. You was saving that one. But after that, W. Morrissey comes out. After Wheeler Yuta attacks him, W. Morrissey comes out. They both lay out Wheeler Yuta. And that was all she wrote with that. Then we had the interim women's title, Toni Storm versus Athena versus Serena Deeb versus Britt Baker. First things first, give me more Serena Deeb, please.
Perfect.
Please.
Stop it. Get some help.
Why is Serena Deeb not on my TV more? She is awesome. Second, Britt Baker got her nose smashed because Britt Baker was on Athena's back, and then I think it was Toni Storm or Serena Deeb jumped on her front. So she had both ladies, one on the back, one on the front. So yeah, I mean, she's small, Athena, but Athena is also very, very strong. So please respect the authority on that. So we're gonna hit that real quick. Respect my authority. So after that, she basically does a back body drop and literally lands directly on Britt Baker's nose. Like, ouch.
Stop it. Get some
She
help.
immediately goes to the corner. They're trying to clean her up. And speaking of noses, Ruby Soho is also
Emotional damage.
out with a broken nose. Apparently, she has a very messed up septum and her nose is broken in 2 places. That sucks. Please get well soon. As far as Britt Baker, she seemed to be okay, but I would be shocked if her nose was not broken, because like Athena put her whole weight, like literally, right on her face. That sucks. But this was a good match. Everybody got their time to shine, but in the end, Toni Storm rolled up Britt Baker, if I'm not mistaken. And that was all she wrote. Toni Storm retains the interim title. But for everybody talking ish about Britt Baker,
Stop it. Get some help.
Get the fuck out of here!
what else you want the lady to do? She's putting people over left and right. She's taking L's left and right. It reminds me of that time where Roman Reigns was just losing and losing and losing, and people still had a problem with him. This is before the Tribal Chief. And I'm like, this was like maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. I'm like, yeah, no, not 2 years ago. Had to be before that, right before the Rona and everything, and it was in the Thunderdome. The brother Roman Reigns lost like 4 or 5 pay-per-view matches in a row, and people are like, they're shoving Roman down our throats. Nah, bro, get out of here with that.
Get the fuck out of here!
The brother he's putting people over. The Britt Baker had her run. She's still a big star. She still is good on the mic. She's way better in the ring than when she started. She's still a hot commodity. Cut her some damn slack. Yes, other people right now are running the championship scene. That's fine. There's a built-in story with her and Jamie Hayter. I still think Jamie Hayter should turn on her, but Jamie Hayter should turn on her after Toni Storm gets a chance to breathe. And then Jamie Hayter has a chance to win the championship, or Jamie Hayter has a chance to cost Britt Baker the championship. Either way, it's a good story that's going to be told. So tranquilo, everybody, on the Britt Baker hate. Please, ease up. Listen, when they do shit wrong, I'm quick to judge. But this is not wrong. So Toni Storm gets the win, but unfortunately, the heels begin to beat Toni Storm down. They beat her down heel style, but who should come and save the day? It's Saraya, everybody! That's how I sounded when I jumped off my couch. I was like, oh, ish. Trying to keep it a little bit more curse friendly. Oh, ish. It's Paige. Obviously, formerly Paige in WWE. Her real name is Saraya Knight. That's what she's going by. Holy hell. Soraya is back. I have a lot to talk about this. I got a lot to say about this. So let's talk about it right now. First of all, I need to know.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
I am so glad she is back in a wrestling ring. It is good to see her back. The fact that Britt Baker is older than her, Saraya has been in a lot of turmoil in a very short period of time. She's like grown up before our very eyes. When Saraya was in WWE, she went through a lot. She was with, Del Rio. We all know how that ended. Then that leaked footage of her and some people got leaked somehow, plastered all over the internet. She was going through a lot of crap, and they tried to help her out. Mind you, she came in young. When she got to WWE, she was a baby. So she's still in her 20s. If I'm not mistaken, she's still in her 20s. Let me look it up. I'll look it up right now. I think she's still in her 20s. I know Britt Baker is older than her. How old is Paige WWE? She's 30, so I stand corrected.
You stupid.
So Britt Baker's older than her. Wait, how old is Britt Baker? Britt Baker's 31. So it's like Britt Baker. No, not Britt Baker. Saraya has been through a hell of a lot of crap. And I mean, yes, a lot of people have been through a lot of stuff. But my point is, she's been through it publicly. She's been through it out in the open. So it's different than just going through your own stuff like me or you, and we're not public people. we're private. So we deal with our private stuff in private. We work through it. It is what it is. She had to deal with everything out in the open. You had people coming at her from all shapes and sizes. And now she makes her return. On top of that, when she finally did come back, after the turmoil and she was gone for a while, and she came back, got that huge ovation, and she was like, "Did you miss me?" And then, what was it? A couple months later, 6 months later, she gets hit in the back by Sasha Banks. Totally accidental, nobody's fault. Shit happens. She gets a stinger, and the doctors are like, "So your neck is hanging on by a thread, so you need to retire." But then what happens? She's like, "You know what?
Stupid.
I'm gonna get well, get the surgeries, get healthy. We'll see what happens." Then Edge comes back. Then she starts thinking, Edge came back.
Stop the cap.
Then Danielson comes back. Danielson came back.
Stop the cap.
Then there was somebody else with a neck injury that came back. But all of these people come back, and she's like, "Wait, what about me? What if I could possibly come back?" Listen, AEW would have not cleared her to come in the ring and talk about, "Come on, that belt is mine." AEW would have never allowed her to come in the ring and do all of those gestures if she hasn't been tested, if she hasn't been, maybe she hasn't been training, maybe she has, I don't know. But if she hasn't been tested and tested and then tested again and then cleared and then cleared again and then cleared again to be cleared again, AEW would have never signed her to that type of contract to wrestle. I don't believe it.
Stop the cap.
So the fact that she is cleared, that tells me right there that she did what Bryan Danielson did. She went around and got cleared, made sure it was okay to wrestle, and whoever she gets in the ring with, they're going to take care of her. They're going to make sure she's okay, as they should. Even Sting. Yo, Sting, we ain't clearing you, buddy. Goes to AEW, Sting is having crazy good matches every single year. Since we saw Sting, he's been having good matches. Doing just enough, but helping out the talent that he's with. It's been great. So, one time for Saraya.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
Now, if they play their cards right, there's going to be a lot of money in Saraya. Listen, you couldn't get Naomi, you couldn't get Sasha. They probably are going back to WWE. Good for them. I hope they do well. I really do. But Saraya was one of the biggest women on the market who can actually work. She is the anti-diva. She's everything that Divas nonsense from back in the day. She's everything that the Divas were not. So shout out to her because she is back. I'm happy to see her back. As long as she's healthy and she's careful and she is doing what she loves and she could get another year, 2 years, 6 months, 2 months, another match out of it, listen, it's a dream come true because they probably told her you will never wrestle again. And now she comes back into the wrestling ring, get that crazy ass ovation. And the sky's the limit for Saraya. Sky's the limit. So let's see if Tony Khan does what he's supposed to do.
Stupid.
And gets this women division where it needs to be. Because right now, it's not where it needs to be. It needs to be better. You got too many talented women on this roster now for this women's division to be as boring as it is. And I say boring because the ladies are interesting, but there's no stories being told. They all can wrestle. That's not on them. That's on the booker to book us some goddamn stories we can get invested in. So with Saraya here now, I hope that changes. Then we had the Tournament of Champions final for the AEW World Heavyweight title. We got Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. And the end came where we had a Death Rider and a kick out. But then Danielson begins to stomp a mud hole in Mox's face. They ended up brawling, chopping each other to half to death. Like this was an Ishii and Minoru Suzuki match. Oh man, those two right there. It's like
Shots fired! Shots fired!
It's like chops fired. But anyway, afterwards, there's a Death Rider and a kick out. They fight some more. They go to the outside. Danielson tries to reverse something, but he gets hit with a Death Rider on top of the ramp. He literally rolls back into the ring. Mox tries to pin him. He kicks out. Then he puts him in the Bulldog choke and literally has to Bulldog choke him until he passes out. And that's all she wrote. Jon Moxley is your 3-time AEW World Champion. He is the MVP of 2022. That brother gets a Don DeMarco for being the wrestler, probably the wrestler of the year in 2022. If not in general, definitely for AEW. Anything this brother is asked to do, he does. Can you chill on your vacation? Come back and do this tournament for me. Sure. Okay, Punk is out. Can you be the interim champion for me? Sure. It doesn't matter what this guy does. He continues to progress and he continues to put on excellent performances, great promo work for us, the fans. There is nothing more that we can ask for from this gentleman. I hope that when he finally does drop the title, he takes 2 whole months off with pay. Give that brother all the pay he needs because he has been coming through in a clutch. Coming through in a clutch for TK. Coming through in the clutch. And I am glad for it. Wrestler of the year probably is Jon Moxley. If not, a couple other people you could sprinkle in there. But he is the MVP for sure. Sure, he's the MVP. And that was your Dynamite. They went off the air very abruptly. So for them going off the air abruptly like that, we're gonna hit them with the button. Listen, they need to find a way to get their timing shit under control because too many Dynamites, too many times this has happened where they're supposed to be going to 10 o'clock, but it's 10:58 and the ref is like 90 seconds, guys, 90 seconds. We got to go to the finish. And then they rush off the air. They don't give things time to breathe, like a minute or 2 minutes to breathe. They need to fix that. I don't know if something ran long, but they got the hell up out of there real quick. They got off the air. So that's 1. 2, this says a lot about the Elite and Kenny Omega and the Bucks and CM Punk. And let me tell you why.
Shots fired!
AEW doesn't necessarily need them. And this was a testament to that fact. Because not only did we have great matches all night without the Elite and without Punk, but this was probably the best Dynamite show all year. I guarantee you it probably was. Like when I go back and look at it,
Give me a hell yeah!
this show was amazing. 5 title matches. They were taping Rampage right after the show. And yes, they were in New York. Yes, the crowd was hot, but they could put on good shows without their main eventers. And the main eventers should take heed and take notice to that. Because TK just showed you, yo, I don't need you, bruh. I don't need you. I want you, but I don't need you. And I think that works volumes. Because now we now know that it doesn't matter what happens. AEW is going to be okay. Because they could build up new stars. They could do what they want to do. And that's all she wrote. So I did hear some rumors, because that was your Dynamite. I did hear some rumors that Punk might not be coming back to the company. So that's crazy. But Tony Khan took CM Punk out of the list of former Ring of Honor champions because, like I said, there's a legal battle and he just nixed on mention of CM Punk. And then you have the Elite. I'm pretty sure they'll come back. Especially if they did not start the fight, like many believe that they didn't. They'll be back. They'll be okay. But it just sucks that they got to go through this situation too. But everybody's expendable. Because as you can see, they still put on one hell of a show without Punk and without Danielson. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But that was your AEW Dynamite Grand Slam review. You already know who I am, RJD, that's me. Check out my socials one more time. We will be going live mañana, but we're going live tomorrow early, so look out for that. Obviously, follow me on all social media platforms. And everybody stay safe out there. Be easy. I am out. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.